state, our nation, and bless our university. Bless Father, who lie on their beds of affliction, and those who are sick and shut in, for those in hospitals, wherever they may be. We ask that you would place your healing hand of mercy upon them. Forgive us, O Lord, of our sins, and may what we do for you be done for the glory of that man in thy kingdom. In the name of our Lord and Savior, we pray and ask it all. Amen.
Please stand or stay standing. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. I can't. Before we get started, obviously we're not used to this big of a crowd, and I understand why it is this big. I am here to hold decorum. If you've signed up to speak, you'll be identified. There are people on the agenda that are here to speak about city business. They will come to the podium and speak. Those of you who have signed up to speak, or if you raise your hand, I can call on you and you will be able to speak. We will not be speaking at the same time or over one another. We will speak individually. If you have something to say about that, you may speak. This is going to be kept very, very calm. And I think you being able to stand and speak where you are is just going to be safer, okay? All right. So, on the agenda, we have number 4, to discuss and vote on building permit at 155 Bridges. A, the RV port, B, the storage building, and then C, the enclosed carport. Mandy, what name am I looking for? Mr. Beckham? Hi. So it says discuss and vote. So I guess they want to know, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory what you're doing. And you're just looking for authorization. I don't know if anybody else drove out there. I did. Mike?
I think it's got moved in a new double wide mobile home for Mr. Bridges.
Right.
That's a real nice place. Nobody's going to stand his stuff.
Right. So that's what I was going to say, is that I drove up there and you're already living there, correct? Yeah, and it's beautiful. We just need a permit to move forward for the RV storage building and the carport. Yes, sir? Okay. Just making sure I'm not.
We missed approving the minutes.
No, we're right here on number 4.
I know where it is.
Oh. Because that's down here.
Go ahead.
All right, if you are approving or denying, we need to make motions, and we need to do it on each individual one, A, B, and C.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion for A, his 911 address and his new construction.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Is everybody?
Wait until she asks for a second.
All right, we're on to B.
I also make a motion for the porta potty must be installed on the site for new construction until it's completed.
Storage building.
Storage building.
I don't know where you read porta potty. It's a storage building. We're voting off the agenda.
Oh, okay.
That's that one.
Okay, I was looking up. Okay. I make a motion for the storage building.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The enclosed carport,
I was also making a motion for the enclosed car park. That would, get all three of them.
I'll second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Awesome. Mr. Beckham, they've all been approved, and I would not judge you at all if you wanted to leave. But if you want to stay, you're more than welcome. But you go enjoy your beautiful home. All right, number 5, Robbie White wanting to speak about the property at the end of Wells Street and Hickory Street. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I appreciate the council taking the time to review this request. I didn't realize there was so many people interested in a piece of property I bought. For y'all that don't know me, I'm Robbie White. I moved here in 1998. I've raised 2 kids here. I've been the school board president here. I've been on the HYSI board at the park. And I bought this property here because I chose to stay in Hawkins. I could have very easily moved, but this is my community. I made it my home, and I'm asking for you to review this property to see if it is, in fact, inside the city limits. And that's the first question before we can move on to the next. And I hope you've had a chance to review the paperwork I've provided, surveys, aerial maps, an excerpt from the city planning. The information I was given is not defined.
Right.
It's not defined. When I bought the property, there was no city tax paid on my statement settlement. So by that, I was under the impression it was outside the city. If that is the case, there are some roads, and you can see that on the map, that were probably from the planning back in the 80s. They don't exist. This is all virgin land. It has a tree exemption, tax exemption on it now. It's overgrown. I had my realtor get with Mike and talk about water and sewer taps, to see if they were available. It looked like at one point in time, they wanted to develop that area, but didn't finish.
I have a note that says pump station. Question about pump station.
Yes. Does your land go all the way to Snyder Street?
No, not that far. It stops, it faces Blazer, into Wells, into Hickory, and then all the way down to the point addition, the back side of the point addition.
Part of that is,
Part of it is.
yes. Water can be available, sewer can be available if you put in a pump station.
Okay, that's what I have.
Pump station to which street?
We just have to shoot out, well, I mean, there's sewer at the end of Wells Street, there's sewer in Glacier Street. In between, there's no sewer. The sewer to the end of Hickory Street, it runs between properties from duplex and lot.
Right.
So there's sewer on Wells Street, there's sewer on Glacier Street, but you have to pump
Two.
either way. Depends on
The
where
depth check-
location
the
of
depth
your
check
house.
right there is too high. The depth check of the sewer is too high for me to get over to it on grade.
Right, you have to pump. Well, we'd have to shoot where you're gonna build your actual house.
Right,
And shoot the grade. From the lay of the land, it looks like you're gonna have to pump either way.
okay. Or I can set it. Because that's why I'm here. I gotta figure out what I can do.
Well, if that's part of the city, we don't like, not to use septic in the city.
Sure.
Because sewer is available one way or the other.
Right.
Like Conover's, they had to put in the pump station,
Right.
where they built their house to get the sewer.
Right, and I've talked to Hal more.
Right.
So that's what, obviously everybody would have to pump in that line. Let's just say I went ahead and asked the city if they were gonna put the roads in, whatever they decide to do there, and I was gonna develop that, put 10 houses on, in the city handle.
That's to be studied done.
That's not what I wanna do,
Right.
but I'm asking.
Yeah, they had to get study done on the number of lots or houses you want to put in there.
So we say portions of this property is inside the city limits?
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Because the condos are in the city limits.
Right.
Part of the land that go up 3,600,
Yes.
3,600 turns into the county road.
Yes.
There's a half of that, there was a lot for sale that butts up to 3,640.
Yeah, right there. This, the turnovers are back here on this, right off of Briar, back here.
Right.
Yeah, and as far as they were in, part of it's not. And this is around,
Yes, there's a lot right there.
yes, on the other side.
On the other side of the lake, yes.
Drive,
That half of it
yeah.
is inside the city limits.
So, but we don't know how much of this is in the city limits.
More than likely, it might be all of it.
Well, if-
We'd have to get an actual survey,
Right.
to know for sure.
Which I have a survey of the property that doesn't.
Right, well, you'd have to get corners surveyed and all stuff like that.
Ms. Kay?
Madam Mayor, I would ask that Mike and Mr. Conover, that you all get together
Mr. White.
on this, and then, so you will understand what he is talking about, and you all can get some understanding. I don't think this is the time for this right now, and he can come to the office and you all discuss it and get that right, if that's all right with you.
For hypothetical purposes, let's just say that the property is inside the city limits.
I understand that.
So if it's inside the city limits and the city has
An easement.
potential development rights
Yes.
through there, where does that leave me? Is the city going to give up those rights, or are they going to develop those streets? That's going to depend on, everything falls
That's
into
why
that
it
category.
should be, they need to get together and discuss it.
Is there streets within the boundaries of the two lots you're buying? Or they're just entrance streets?
They dead end at the property line. They really don't even make it to the property.
Right. Yeah, but, because we normally don't abandon any streets because of right-of-way purposes.
Correct.
But now, if there's any inside, I doubt we're gonna develop any,
Exactly.
money-wise.
Exactly.
But I mean, if you're building on property, we could extend the road to access your land.
Right, which, you know, if you're going to, I'm trying to save the city money here. I'm trying to buy their services
Yes,
with sewer and water and eliminate the future need to put roads and infrastructure in there.
I'm very happy about
That's,
it.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to put a one-family dwelling on this property. So I need to know where the city stands. If it's inside the city, I'll go by the city rules. If it's not, then I've got road issues I've got to deal with. The city needs to relieve those rights, those lines, those water lines.
Right,
those roads.
and to determine that, we'd have to you need to get your corners.
They are.
Okay.
I've got 30 posts lined all four corners and down the sides.
Okay.
There's no doubt where property is.
Okay. Does it show the city boundaries in that survey?
No, that's the city boundary right there. That came from your map, or the city map. And that red dot line is me,
Where's the city boundary?
right there.
Yeah, that map ain't gonna show it. That's not, the map's made up by East Texas Council. So it's not gonna show,
How will we?
that was not gonna show it. We'd have to get
Real
this-
map?
We should have,
Okay.
but and the survey should show, they should be able to look at where the city boundaries are by survey.
Okay. All right, so we need to further investigate that, like Ms. Kay said. But that will lead us to, we have to come back to the city council meeting, move forward, once we figure out what is what.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're in the city, then you have to build a permit.
But if I'm out of the
If
city,
you're out of the city, you don't do that.
then I just ask for water and sewer.
Yes.
And the city's good with me buying services from the city?
Of course.
If it's outside the city, you'd have to get their,
You
yeah,
gotta put it out there.
yeah, if you're outside the city, you would have to get their permission, they'd have to agree on us providing services
If he's
outside the city.
within the city limits.
That's all I've got.
He's-
And thank y'all for coming.
Thank you, Mr. White. That's awesome.
So I'm just gonna take an election on this one. Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Okay. Oh, okay, I see.
We've got to take some action.
No, we don't. It's just to speak. No, it's just to speak before they can to speak.
Yeah, we're not doing anything.
So we're good. We can go to the next.
All right, number 6. Discuss and appoint Mitchell Henderson for the City of Hawkins Municipal Judge. Okay. I'm sure you guys have had time to read over his resume. Any questions?
Is he here?
He's right there.
Oh, can't see.
Well, due to your injury, let's wait and see if, do you want to, okay. You're fine, right there, you're fine. They may or may not have questions, that's fine.
I don't know exactly, I haven't got to do any research.
How have you not been able to do research?
Because everything's closed on Martin Luther King Day, and Sunday. Saturday,
When did you
Sunday,
get your
Monday.
packet?
Friday at 3 o'clock.
Well, we've had his resume for quite a long time. The other person withdrew from wanting to be judge. Mr. Henderson has called and asked many questions. He knows where we are as far as our court and what it needs. He and Mandy have spoken multiple times. I would feel wonderful if Mr. Henderson could come and help us out.
I just thought we would get our attorney first before we did the judge.
Well, that's not where we're at right now.
Well, can we put, where we tabled our attorney at the last meeting to be put on this month's agenda, but was forgot to be put on there? Can we go ahead and make a motion to vote on the attorney?
No, it's not on the agenda.
Yeah, but
And
it
he
was supposed
said-
to be on, it was supposed to be on the agenda.
No, do you remember what he said? The last thing he said is, "Don't call me
Yeah.
unless you are absolutely for
Right.
sure."
Yeah, he said, I'm not going to be at the next meeting.
Right.
We tabled it till this meeting. We tabled it on the 16th.
Okay, so
we
he
tabled
said,
on the
"I'm not
16th.
going to be at the next meeting. This is
Right.
the next meeting."
Right, and you're not here neither.
He
Because
said
we-
he wasn't going to be here.
Right, he said he wasn't going to be here because we already did the interview and we tabled it
Okay,
from the last meeting to this meeting.
what we have right now
We did.
is a discuss and vote on Mr. Henderson to be our municipal judge. We don't need anyone else. That even if we had a city attorney, he would not help you make this decision.
I'm not asking for that, I'm just asking, okay, we'll skip over that till later.
Okay.
Mr. Henderson, can you explain how much experience you have being a judge in your prior history?
Well, I've been the mayor of another city in East Texas, and of course, you're a magistrate by law. I then was a justice of the peace, and since then, I've done volunteer work. I was in Smith County. I was president of the emergency service district for the firemen, you know. I've stayed active in the law. I do consulting work now with cities, back and forth, if they have questions. In a lot of businesses, I mainly do business consulting, and some of it is asking questions about, for instance, if they're in transportation, the filings of the Department of Transportation filings, things of that nature. So I've kept abreast, and I enjoy working for the citizens of East Texas, and I would enjoy working for Hawkins there's some backlog of some tickets and ordinances that really need to be disposed of irregardless of the city attorney. And of course, the city attorney is very helpful once you get one on board because they will advise you, which is what you need. That's not my job.
Right.
As the judge to give you legal advice. I'd be the decider of fact in court cases. But city attorneys can also be your city prosecutor.
Mr. Henderson, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I don't know who it is, but let's just stop the chatter. I apologize.
I'm pretty loud, so probably everybody I hope can hear me. Once you get a city attorney on board, he can be your city prosecutor as well. And he works with the judge and makes recommendations as to dismissals of tickets and ordinances violations, etc. And so you don't want to have to dismiss a lot of tickets just because they've backlogged. You know, someone's violated the laws in your city. You want them to have a fair hearing and present their case if they want it or pay their fine, vice versa. But if they do want a trial or a hearing before a judge, a bench trial, you certainly want to give them that opportunity expeditiously. And if they grow real old, you know, you're going to have no choice but this, in fairness, to dismiss them, which means miss revenue and
Yes,
miss
sir.
application of the law. So I'm here to, I applied for it because I really enjoy doing that sort of judicial work. And if I can be of help to you, I'd really love to have the position.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Henderson.
I have one more question. How much time can you give our court?
Well,
Of your
I'm
time.
semi-retired, so I can give you 24/7, whatever you need. I'm here, so,
Thank you.
thank you.
That's awesome. Anybody else have any questions?
I'm good.
Can you start immediately, or?
Tonight?
Yeah.
Ask.
No more questions.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to appoint Mitchell Henderson as our municipal judge.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
We have a judge.
We have a judge.
Okay, who, Meredith did it.
Was that Meredith that made the motion?
Yeah, but who seconded it? We both
I did.
tied.
Oh,
I'll get with you after we vote. I'll
One
get-
minute right now. Who should I have to second that? Meredith made the motion, but who seconded it? And Meredith, what's you right now?
Mandy,
Ma'am,
who seconded it?
Alita.
Okay.
I got Alita a second.
all right.
Discuss and vote on minutes from the December 16th meeting, along with the city financials and minutes.
Madam Mayor.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
move that we accept the minutes for December 16th, 2024.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, that was everybody. Discuss and vote on departmental monthly reports.
Go on, one by one, yeah, just sit there. Go on, Ty, he's ready.
Ty, you ready?
All right, for the month of December, we ran one grass fire, one structure fire, one illegal burn, fire alarm, one power line, 12 EMS, it'll be 13 EMS, one landing zone, 2 MBA, one canceled en route, and one unable to locate, for a total of 23 calls We had 2 regular meetings and 1 safety meeting for a total of 123 man hours.
I wanted to thank you for helping out the city in all the extra things that I've asked you to do that don't fall under your,
We just try and help out where we
I really appreciate it. It's nice to have somebody that you can just call and ask.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Thanks for stepping up. Library,
Stats have remained pretty much unchanged, except for digital materials. People are increasingly getting digital materials. We're hoping we can keep the cost of that up and paying for that because it's awfully expensive. People don't realize that the more they check out digitally, the more it starts costing us. So we will see how that goes. We had a Heart to Hand of East Texas come and do a jobs workshop for the citizens. It was totally free. We did have some participants, and they've decided that they will hold some more programs at the library. So if anybody is looking to upgrade their job skills, it's something to check out. Tomorrow, I'm doing one of our Thinking Money for Kids programs. It's going to be at 10:30. Financial literacy for children. It's going to be done through games. Once we complete one of the games, I'm going to start teaching the kids how to make change. People these days don't know how to make change. And we're setting it up to where it's going to be, their refreshments are going to be priced out. They have to go and pay for those. They have to make the change, and somebody has to give the correct change back. So that's going to be pretty interesting. Yeah, it's one of those things that, you know, when you go to the store and somebody, if their cash register goes down and they can't make change because something's not telling them, we need to teach children how to do that. So we are doing that tomorrow at 2:30. And because I've already held all of the games with the Thinking Money for Kids, which was a grant from the American Library Association, I've been asked to share our experiences on an open forum on February the 13th.
nice.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
If anybody has books that they want to get rid of, we constantly get calls to ask if we take donations of books. Now's your time to donate any unwanted books that you want to get rid of. We've decided we're going to hold a big book sale next month. So if you're looking to get rid of your books, come to the library and drop them off. And other than that, the Texas State Annual Report portal is open. So I'll start working on our state library report, which helps us to become accredited and stay accredited, which helps us with grants. The first reporting date is March 31st. I'll have it done by then. And we're also working on E-rate, which gives us an 80% discount on our internet. That's it.
Thank you.
Norma, I'm sorry, honey, when is the book sale?
It'll be next month. We haven't set a date yet
Okay.
because I'm seeing how many books we're getting.
Gotcha.
But I want to give people enough time to donate, and
Before
then
you
we'll
set
set
a
up a
date to
date.
sale? Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Court,
Well, we didn't have really too much activity this month since we do not have a judge, but I did get caught up on our reports. We have the Office of Court Administration report. It has not been done in 1 year. I got that caught up. And then we have the Office of the Court Administration Appointment and Fees that has not been done since 2021. I got that caught up. We're up to date. And then the DPS report that we have to do hadn't been done since 2023, and I got that caught up. So we're all caught up on our reports.
thank you. All right. Mike, you ready?
city duties to be doing while, I had a loss of time there, some unknown reason.
Understandable.
It's not different.
So, we're still working on the water leak for under the railroad, working on the process of getting prices and still in contact with the railroad on repairing that water line. Under the state railroad right away. That's my main deal right now. I think the last month we closed out the school water line. We're working on Texas Water Development Board, and it's on the agenda tonight.
Yes.
Close out the process of lead and copper, service line replacement program. And we should be getting, we've got a grant, approved for a grant, so we should be starting on that pretty soon.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Police department.
Police Department. I actually didn't get a monthly report from the police department, but I did get a yearly overview, is what it's called.
Yeah, that's the police department.
Sorry, I can't hear.
I mean, you're standing in the hallway the whole time.
Do you want me to present the
Please.
monthly report?
Yeah, come on.
I wrote on here, I said typically I present a monthly report, but since it's starting a new year, I kind of wanted to do like a overview of what happened over the year as far as our numbers. So over the course of the year, our officers made a total of 1,013 contacts that resulted in either a citation or a warning being issued. These contacts are part of our ongoing efforts to ensure public safety, deter crime, and encourage compliance with local laws. Additionally, our officers responded to 984 contacts that led to either a call for service, an incident report, or an offense report. Calls reflected the diverse range of situations we handle on a daily basis, from routine service calls to more serious incidents requiring detailed investigations. Unfortunately, I must also report that Chief Paul Holland resigned his position at the beginning of last week. It marks the third chief to resign since I joined the department in 2020. And with it comes the third time I've assumed the administrative duties for the department. I want to reassure the council and the community that I will continue to ensure the smooth operation of the police department without interruption. For Blue Santa this year, in December, myself and Officer Morris were able to raise over $1,800 for Blue Santa. We were kind of limited into what resources we could put into it, pretty much just me and him. We took donations from local businesses, things like that. With that money, the department was able to take 4 local children from various families shopping at Walmart in Mineola. Each of them received a $400 gift card. This event not only provided the children with the opportunity to shop with a first responder, hopefully giving them a lasting memory, but also help ensure they received essential gifts that they otherwise might not have been able to afford. Given our department staffing challenges, I reached out to Fire Chief Ty Music for assistance, and I want to express my sincere gratitude to him and his team. Chief Music, along with Zachary Collette, Norma Hallmark, graciously volunteered their time to assist with the event. Their participation allowed us to ensure that each child has a positive, memorable experience, all while being accompanied by a first responder, which highlights the deep commitment of our public safety personnel for this community. The willingness of our first responders to go above and beyond in supporting this cause is a true testament to their character and their dedication to serving others, and I want to personally thank Chief Music, Officer Collette, and Norma Hallmark for their support and generosity, which made this initiative a success. I truly appreciate your kindness and support.
Thank you very much. Good report. Thank you. Thank you.
I'll make a motion to accept the department.
She didn't ask for that yet, Eric. I meant, Greg.
She didn't say yes.
Polk, did Eric not pass on the message to you?
No.
I apologize. I asked him to let the police department know that you're not on duty inside the community center during this meeting.
Who is not? Who is not?
The Hawkins Police Department. We have another police department that's,
Why are they
Did
not
you
on-
get the approval of the council?
hey,
Madam Mayor, may I ask you a question?
sure.
Why are they not on duty? That's their job.
Okay, but in the best interest of our city and our community, these people, that's what I have to think about. I can't think about what's going on with y'all and all that stuff.
Ma'am, they've been coming to every meeting since Hawkins.
Hang on.
Just asking.
I know you're just asking, and listen to my answer. Because this meeting is already going to be so politically charged, I have to look out for everyone in our community, not these little groups that have agendas. I've got to look out for everyone. And in the best interest and safety for everyone, they are not on duty inside this building right now. There is another police department involved.
Who is
I
the
don't know
other
anything about
police
this, ma'am.
department?
You don't need to know anything about it.
Well, I'm a taxpayer of the city, ma'am.
So do you call me every day
No, I don't. I'm
and
just asking.
ask
okay.
me for all the
Oh,
other meetings? Have you asked me if there's going to be somebody on duty?
Well, ma'am,
No.
it's a normal thing. You don't have to ask, because it's a normal thing that we just take for
No,
granted.
sometimes they're not there.
Well, sometimes they're not, but most of the time they are.
Okay,
I'm just asking. I don't understand what we're doing.
but I'm answering you and you're not listening. You're listening to respond, you're not listening.
Madam Mayor, I would like to know why we have an effective police department here. We have a police department that has been hired for our city, but you're going to say that our own police department that protects our children, our citizens, our schools and all, they are not allowed at our council meeting?
No, I did say,
I think you are wrong.
that's fine.
I think you have overstepped your bounds, Madam Mayor.
Okay, okay, guys,
They're not
we're
saying
not
it.
going to get anywhere with the back and forth and the clapping. I will explain.
Well, we should have been notified. We weren't notified about that, and I don't agree with this, ma'am.
Okay,
I do not either.
that's fine. You don't have to agree.
I know, but
That should have
they're
been
here,
brought
they're here
before
for,
the
they
council.
are here for everyone in the building's protection. That's what they're here for.
Okay, but this is what you're talking, this is what I'm talking
All
about.
right.
Is that because I have a better relationship with these people than y'all do.
Oh, excuse me.
What?
You don't understand what they are having to go through right now.
Man, hold on, folks. I don't even know what they're going through right now.
What are they going through?
Dan,
May I explain it, please?
yes. Hey,
Mayor, hey, hold on.
Mayor, you have a motion on the floor for departmental reports.
Yes.
Second at the moment.
okay. Dan, have a seat.
Say real fast, I'm
I'll,
sorry.
Can we wait till the end of
Greg.
can he wait till the end of the meeting for the citizens' comments?
no. Eric,
Okay.
I'm not doing this tonight with you. I'm
just-
not.
Well, you're the one that typed this out, ma'am. Citizens' comments, number
Yes,
14.
I'm fully aware of what's
Okay.
on the agenda.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Greg.
I'm just saying we have a motion and second on the floor right now on departmental reports.
Did I have a second?
I'll second.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry. All right.
I thought we were on number 9.
May I?
When it pops up on the agenda. Thank you, Dan. All right, we are accepting the resignation of the city attorney Lee Ann Thompson.
I make a motion, ma'am, to accept the resignation of Leanne Thompson.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Fantastic. discuss and vote on a spending freeze on purchasing non-essential items for 60 days throughout all city departments.
Mayor, I make a motion to the spending freeze on purchasing non-essential items 6 days in place.
I'll second it. Oh,
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Consider the adoption of an ordinance authorizing the issuance of City of Hawkins, Texas Combination Tax and Surplus Revenue Certificate of Obligation, Series 2025, in the principal amount of $1.23 million and making certain findings related thereto. This has to, yes, Ms. Clara?
I would just like to say that, one time you said, I don't understand all of this, and I think that we need to wait until we get a city attorney to help to explain this all to us. All this stuff here, I don't know what all this is about.
Okay, so this is actually very serious that
Yes,
we
it
need to
is.
pass this, because this is for our lead and copper. We're basically agreeing to issue the COs for the debt and loan portion that y'all have already agreed to. We're basically just saying, okay, let's do it, because it's for our lead and copper lines throughout the entire city. We've got to replace those lead lines, and we've got to get the project started.
and we did already agree to that. We already agreed to
Yes, we started this
Yeah,
long
right.
time ago.
like 4 minutes.
This,
Yeah,
the
I
first
know.
part is to agree for the loan. The second part, to agree for the loan forgiveness.
Right.
So this is a resolution that they have to have in their paperwork to get passed, to start our loan from lead and copper, to start replacing some of these water lines that people complain about.
Yeah.
Yes, Lord, do something.
So the resolution would be approving the authorization and the execution of one or more principal forgiveness agreements between the Texas Water Department Development Board and the City of Hawkins, Texas, and an escrow agreement relating thereto. You've already agreed to the money, you've agreed to doing this. We actually don't have a choice, we need to do it for the health of our community.
And this saying that we're agreeing to pay for the amount over 30 years for the part that's not forgiven.
We have been trying to get this taken care of for a long time. Our water quality is just not good. It is not good. And whatever it takes.
I disagree with you on that, but we're trying to,
No,
that's not on the agenda.
I
The water
understand
quality is
that,
very
Mike.
good. We've never had it, we don't even get complaints at City Hall, so I don't know why you're bringing it up in a meeting about bad water. I checked your water, I have a water bottle in my office that is perfectly fine that Matt checked. So it's something under your house or in your lines, you come in here, you don't call the office, you come in here, we've had not one complaint to the water department about water.
Good. All right, so we need to get our lead and copper water pipes
You need to keep your hand
replaced.
down.
This is how we do it.
Bring stuff up at the council meeting. That is not on the agenda,
Hey, why are we talking?
because she addressed me.
Oh, okay.
We need to make a motion to do it.
Why are you asking her
I'm
permission?
going to ask your permission.
Guys,
I make a
even there
motion to
yet.
do this ordinance, consider the adoption of this ordinance to get this project started.
I second the motion.
all in favor? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so then we need to do number 12 as well, because I had to separate them out, because this is a different resolution approving.
This is for, this is for the loan forgiveness of the 1.23 million that Texas Water Development Board will forgive us for this
Right.
amount.
This is the one we want.
Yes.
This is the forgiveness.
Might as well make a motion for that one too. I make a motion for that one too. Consider the adoption of the resolution.
I'll second.
I'm not really sure who made the motion.
Eric.
Eric made some of it, and then Alita made the rest of it.
I think,
Oh, sorry.
I thought Meredith,
I second.
Well,
Meredith seconded it.
Okay,
So we're good.
all right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
All right, that goes with that. All in favor?
Aye.
I love you. Discuss and vote on to deactivate the Hawkins Police Department until such time that the city of Hawkins can retain the services of a new qualified chief of police. Dan, I'm going to actually go, and then I'll just let you go. Because this is basically just my scribbles throughout my time here. If you're on Zoom, can you please mute yourself? No, you're not disconnected. Zoom's always so fun. Okay. So I'm going to just say what I have to say, and then I will call on people. We're going to do this very structured. If it gets out of hand, we're going to have to rein it back in every time, okay? So y'all just work with me, please. Council has made personal relationships with police, and the police department allowed it. That is not professional. Police should not be involved in any political activity like council. We can't undo what has been done. Once we as a town crossed over that line of allowing police departments to mix with politics, it's too much. It's gone too far. I cannot guarantee partiality and fairness from our police department. I have seen firsthand the abuse of power on certain citizens. I cannot make the guarantee of safety. Our council members have gotten to serve all, our council members have to serve all citizens, and 2 of them cannot do that. Getting our police department to be involved in that and their agenda is very immature, irresponsible, and dangerous. And our police department should never be charged politically into a city council. There is too much distrust between the citizens and the police. Some councilmen have weaponized the Hawkins Police Department, and there is no going backwards. And the only way to move forward is to start over. Because there has been an arrest, there is no possibility to build any type of trust between citizens and police officers. When I was on the council, when I served on the council, I never had a personal relationship with the police officers. For me and my constituents, the police officers were city employees, and that was that. What are the financials for the police department? I've done the math based on the report that Eric Tuma gave me for their year, and it turns out to be that we are paying over $30,000 a month for having 5.47 calls per day answered. Those are every call, from a dog to our police officers do not have the wherewithal, the maturity, or the wisdom to hear a council member gripe about something and a police officer be able to tell them to go talk to their mayor or go talk to their other councilman and not get involved. I think people are having a hard time wrapping their mind around why have we gone through 3 chiefs so quickly, and the answer is our council.
Ma'am, that's an incorrect statement, ma'am.
That is not right.
Ma'am,
That is not true.
Time out, time
That is
out, time
not
out.
true.
I'm not done, and then you can go.
all right.
I believe that because the same thing keeps happening over and over and over. And so in order to not repeat ourselves again, I have to call it like it is. When we have councilmen that can go over to a police department and hang out for hours on end, and I bring the concern to the police department and I bring the concern to the council people, and it still does not change the behavior, there is no respect. With no respect becomes danger. We all have to be able to trust. And I, sitting here today as your mayor, I cannot guarantee each one of you will be treated the exact same way by our police department. It depends on who you are.
Ma'am, that's not a correct statement either.
So, Dan?
You basically covered everything I wanted to speak about, except for the point that I wanted to also make that on November the 22nd, we were attending, my wife and I, a city council meeting, where our interests were for the betterment of the city of Hawkins and all of its citizens and all of its employees. All of its employees. And that night, an officer was witnessed by myself and many others that were attending the meeting. And then when I say others, I mean other citizens of Hawkins, longtime citizens of Hawkins, people that hadn't been here for 15 minutes and then want to act like they're Hawkins people. We're talking about longtime Hawkins people witnessed a city officer attack someone that didn't do anything. It was unprovoked. And I witnessed the man attack, the officer attack a Hawkins citizen for 1,000% no reason. And in the process, the officer slammed his body into my wife, who was seated, trying to calmly and peacefully attend a city council meeting. And when he did, he slammed her so hard, her shoulder hit a big brass doorknob and injured her shoulder in the back of her shoulder blade. I've got pictures. I went to the city chief before he resigned, did everything but beg to file a report. No, thank you. Called, talked to him again. No, thank you. Talked to the super detective twice. Still no report taken by me. My wife has spoken with the city police department. No report was taken at that time when she requested at that time as well. And I'm not even going to go into the fact that some of our city members that have been working here for years, Miss Cindy, Miss Mandy, and several others, minding their own business in their department, where Miss Cindy is a cashier, taking cash money payments from people for water bills, and the city officers come in there, storming there, bullying and hollering at them like they're doing something wrong, when they weren't doing a thing wrong, but trying to do their job peacefully. Next thing you know, we've got a city employee that has been here for many years, 30-some odd years, that hasn't done a thing wrong. Get arrested and took to jail so his kids and wife can sit at home and wonder why their husband's up there arrested, spending the night in a filthy Wood County jail cell until the next day. When we've got that going on with the police department, they got to go, and they got to go quick. All that aside, yes, sir.
He can't call on anybody else to respond here. That's for you to do. He's wrong.
Eric Malloy
That's wrong.
was two
That's
witnesses
wrong.
that I got arrested on.
That's wrong.
All right.
I'm not here to attack a city council member, and I'm not here to attack a police officer. We come to these meetings to have peaceful meetings where resolutions can be made by people of dignity, not by people that attack someone based on a plan that was made by 2 or 3 that have been here for 15 minutes. We're real Hawkins people, and real Hawkins people want people working here that actually do their job and are not politically charged and do their job efficiently with our tax dimes that pay for it.
Thank you, Dan.
I thank y'all for your time. Keep in mind what I say means business, and it's all true, 1,000%.
There's a hand right back there behind Mayberry. Tyler Mayberry and Michael Mayberry are right in front of him.
Okay, I guess that's me.
All I could see was Mike's sons.
For those that don't know me, I'm Charles Ratio. I am a Hawkins City resident, and I did serve on the city council. I'm now retired from the city council. And I thought that we were here to discuss the dissolution of the police department and not Mike Mayberry. So I am prepared to talk on that and not on the other. Although I can speak for those that do not live, can speak in this agenda. I think that the city council should pay more weight to the people that live and reside within the city. And if you abolish the police department in this city, in Hawkins, there's no doubt in my mind that the crime rate would increase for Hawkins over time.
Hey, we're going to do one at a time.
And I've still got the floor, I think. I talked to the Wood County people that would be doing the policing for Hawkins if we dissolve the police department. And they said that there's only one at the max deputy that is on duty in the southern part of the county, and he has to cover from Alba to Hawkins.
Who was that?
That is a long distance.
Who was that? Who did you speak
It's
with?
Various
Who did you speak with?
Wood County Sheriff Department.
A name? I have a list of names of all the Wood County people I've talked to,
Oh, well,
and state.
I talked to the
You talked to
sheriff.
Captain Colonel Gary Canella? Mr. Williamson? Then the person you talked to works under them.
No, the person I talked to worked directly for the sheriff, and
Was it a captain?
his name was Cody, I think, but I'm not sure of the name. I didn't write that down.
Okay.
But
Can you finish, please?
so the response time would go up for all calls for police action. And it's 25 minutes from Quitman to Hawkins. So it could be quite a while. The businesses in Hawkins would be vulnerable during that time without a police department due to increased response time and the lack of ability to get caught. Thus would increase the shoplifting and the pilferage and the shrinkage, whatever you want to call that.
Okay.
There would also be no citywide patrols. The no school zone, because the county will not do that for the city of Hawkins.
Mike had to do that one time for us because the police department couldn't do it. I mean, it can be done.
I'm saying if you dissolve the police department, that there will be no patrols by Wood County sheriffs in the neighborhoods in Hawkins. There would be no school zone policing, increasing our chances of something bad happening to our children.
Like what?
Well, speeding, hitting them, running, ignoring the red lights on school buses, for example.
Okay, so when the bus goes down 3600, you want a cop there? When the bus goes down 3600, You want a police officer right there? Or do you want it down on Blackburn? Or do you want it down here? There's buses all over the place. We don't have enough cops to watch all the buses so the kids don't get hit.
They're normally at
We
school.
were following, the police department in Hawkins was following the school buses to the edge of town for a long time because on 80 out here, the people were not adhering to the stop signs or, the red lights on the school buses. And they were zipping by
Ma'am,
it
we're gonna have to cut that off,
on the
ma'am.
non-four lanes.
They're making,
It's muted. It's not a big deal.
Okay, the homeowner insurance rates would increase, or would tend to increase, for property owners in Hawkins if there's no police department. It would be up to individual companies to, their underwriting departments to do that, but I'm sure there would be. I mean, you have to tell the fire department, when you get insurance, how many feet you are from the hydrant. They will definitely know that there is no police department in Hawkins.
All right, that's definitely been 3 minutes. All right.
Well, you talked during part of my 3 minutes.
Have a seat.
I'm almost done.
Have a seat. Have a seat. Have a seat.
Well,
You're done.
I have to say what
Sharonda, I saw your hand up.
the city council will not,
Are you ignoring
I
the ones
want
who
the
have
city
signed up?
council
for
to
this?
not
No.
dismantle the police department
Get those first.
and to appoint
Chuck,
from
have a
chief.
seat.
I will.
Thank you.
Mayor, this young man's hand was up before mine.
Okay, I'm sorry, I can't see.
Plaid shirt.
Yes, Roger Walker Wheatley, I did sign on the list there.
Yes, sir.
I realize it's very supercharged, and want to please ask, like the gentleman before me is saying, limited time, y'all guys can respond in many different ways. Please allow me my time. Just be respectful. First of all, as far as the concept of dismantling or discontinuing the police presence here in Hawkins, there are several reasons why I find that very irresponsible action. Number one, until we can retain the services of a new qualified chief of police, we've seen things move rather slowly here before. There's no defined length of time that would be. We could be without police presence for some time. Point that was made, response time, there is no way. We don't have to talk to somebody with a specific name at the Wood County Sheriff's Office to know response time can't possibly be similar to what it would be to have officers here. Number two, let's not deflect the concept of the need in the school zones, because it's in the morning times when we've got people in trucks who aren't familiar with our city busting up 14 right past the schools. We need local cops there at that point in time. All these other different points, okay, hit them different times. But we need police presence there, and you're not gonna get that from someplace else on a consistent basis. Number three, if Big Sandy, that has less population than we do, can have its own police force, I kind of wonder why we can't manage that one. Now, another issue on all of this business here, back and forth, having a police presence in a city, not just a response time issue, but it is also familiarity issue with the population. You know whether or not when you see Carl in his yard at midnight, fixing to open that back gate and walk in there, that's Carl. But if you also happen to know that that's Fred, who you have arrested 4 times before for going into somebody's property, that you're gonna wanna stop and talk to Fred. You don't get that with someone who is not local. Now, I realize we have had all sorts of different things that may have been genuine abuses by certain people. And here's the last point I want to make, and that is There are means by which municipalities, governments, heck, a business like Subway up the street has policies that are in place that allow them to dismiss people when documentation, when witnesses, when other folks come forth and say, this individual did this thing wrong, and then you enact something on that. Prior to that, you don't make some global thing and then go, let's chuck everybody who's associated with that sort of position out the door. We don't chuck the position itself out the door because we've had those abuses. No, we take responsible action as people who have authority over them to act under those guidelines. And I believe that that should be possible for the council.
Sharonda?
For myself, I was at that last council meeting that has become a topic of contention. I was recently, last week as a matter of fact, contacted by our detective to get my side of the story. No problems there. Here's where my issues lie. I had a police chief stand up in our city council meeting and state that the Texas Rangers was investigating these things. Well, if the Texas Rangers are investigating, do they need the help of Hawkins PD, or is Hawkins PD doing this on their own? I would think if my police chief said that this case has been turned over, why are the residents of this town being stopped, asked, and questioned by my local police department? Somebody's not telling the truth. Okay, we have the phone records that have been brought up because they're public information. Anybody with a city phone, if you call it, your number's on it. If you go back to the night in question of the last city council members meeting, I have city council members who were back and forth on the phone with my police chief, not 5 minutes after this council adjourned. There's a problem with that. Not one call, not two, several. I have a problem with the fact my very police chief in which we hired, and hey, I was for it. I don't have nothing against it. I have a problem with the fact that the night of the incident, a man who was not here called a newspaper and gave a direct quote on circumstances he wasn't even privy to. He took what was told by a council member or two and his officer, and he ran with it. Well, if my police chief is the one who we hire to uphold our rights and the truth, is that the truth, what he said? Because it drastically differs from everyone else. You have citizens that made the same phone calls to our same police. You don't have to like what you have to write up in an incident, but you're required to take a report. You can put nothing found, nothing done, something, but you are required to take a report. Everybody in this room is affected by it. You asked, we had the issue earlier where Eric was asking about police coverage. Robert's Rules of Order says that the mayor is the highest ranking police officer in this room. Any officer that is in here is at her direction. They are supposed to only move when she speaks. When she says, we have someone disruptive, she can have them removed or silenced. If she don't speak, they ain't supposed to move. We have the wild, wild west going on here.
Right.
And it's crazy. I'm looking at a room full of people, and I'm joyous. For me, this is a grassroots movement. So I'm going to say a dirty word, y'all. I'm going to say thank you to Matthew Todd Eddington. Ain't got to like it. No, let me tell you why. Because if it wasn't for the person, some hate, some like, you wouldn't be here.
That's right.
You wouldn't be here. I have sat through city council meetings. I'm the only person in the room. And that's shameful. But everybody now wants to come because we've had a problem. I wish y'all would continue to come. Don't let this be your only time. You know, you ain't got to like Todd. Hell, I don't like him now. But facts are facts, and facts don't care about nobody's feelings. That young man right now's got a search warrant thing plastered to his door because the police been kicked in his house.
So y'all tell me that's not bullying.
Hold on.
That's my brother.
Hang on.
I'm sorry. So, what I say is, our police department is a wonderful thing. I love them to death. They protect, they serve. But if they're doing wrong and they're not doing it right, we might need to taper them down. It concerns me, and I like him. I have nothing against him. You know, his wife, his kids, half for years. But it concerns me for an interim police chief status because I watched a man who has been an officer in this town for a while. During the last hoopla we had for a police chief, when he was appointed, his statement was, well, you know, we were doing a good job and I'm just going to continue doing it. That is scary to me because that administration was not doing a good job and they just left. Don't you think you need to come in with some new ideas? We don't have new ideas. Why? And you know, there's a House bill, since we really need police coverage, we have issues with the ones we have. We have a few little issues. There's mistrust, there's some misstatements, and it's almost as if we can't come back. There is a House bill, and I'm going to stop, let me finish the sentence. There is a House bill that says we as a citizen can appoint an honorably discharged veteran who qualifies for T-card. That is a House bill. And we only need one officer to make us a department.
Correct.
We have
right.
options. And nobody
right.
wants.
That's right.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So I got a phone call on the way here just got off work. I don't know if anybody's aware, some of you may be, you may not be, but there was a warrant put out for Todd right before this meeting, so he couldn't be here tonight. I asked the officers, they didn't want to talk to me. They're investigating egg cartons and things like that, but they won't tell me what is going on. Because I was told that you are behind this. Is it because your phone
Me?
number was posted publicly?
Oh, I was about to say,
Or is this because
no.
you was put in a headlock by one of your cops at the last meeting?
Ma'am,
That's what I want to know.
well, ma'am,
It's my turn.
okay.
So the issue here is we don't feel safe when we're put in headlocks and pushed around. My freedom matters just as much as your freedom. My brother, why does he deserve to go to jail? What has he done? But tell the truth. You don't have to like Todd. Like Sharonda said, I don't even like him half the time, but he's not a liar. He has a heart of gold. If you have a problem with him, it's because you're dirty, and you know it. But I'm not gonna back down, just like Todd isn't, and I would hope that y'all would stand with me on this. Like I said, Todd's been here forever, he doesn't deserve this. He's not allowed to file charges on the officer that assaulted him. Does that make sense? No. But they got a warrant for him right now. So if you'll stand with me right now, just to show them, that's what I need. I'm just asking y'all to stand with me. We're sick of it.
That's wrong. That's wrong. That is wrong. That is wrong. That is wrong. What
It's
you
okay.
are allowing. No, it's not okay.
None of us do.
That's wrong.
So,
You allowing this
I mean,
to
just
be out
think
of
about
order.
it. Just like Mike, what's to keep all of us from being done that way and arrested? Because we made somebody mad? I hope you're ashamed. I hope inside you're scared because you know you're wrong and you have a choice. You can turn it around.
Ma'am, I haven't did anything
You're
wrong,
behind
ma'am.
a warrant.
No, I'm
Or you're behind
not.
a
Ma'am, I
warrant.
am not behind a warrant.
What's he under arrest for? I'd like to ask an officer. You know,
No, she's wrong.
you ran up
She's
in
wrong.
his
She's
yard
out
to
of order.
investigate him over egg cartons.
Hey.
It's funny.
What?
What? You need to stop her.
Why is,
I'm sorry, I'm just upset.
All right.
I mean, this is not
No.
wrong. I would do it.
I understand, I do, I understand. And I'm shocked.
He's bullied. I mean,
Because
it's not right now.
it's never gone
Just so y'all know.
this far, you know? And I know that that's how most of us are feeling, is that we're in a little bit of disbelief that it's gone as far as it's gone.
got a search warrant taped to his door.
His
Todd,
computer
they'll go there
away,
right now if y'all wanna go over there.
your number is public
You
because
can't
you're on this
allow
council.
a
All right.
councilman, you cannot allow it.
Threatening me on over your
That is
number.
against, you cannot
Hang
allow
on, I know. I believe me.
I'm done. But this guy coming and standing up on me like that a minute ago, you don't intimidate me. I don't know who you think you are.
Hey, Polk.
Yeah, I said, get out here, don't be hiding over there too much, all y'all put over
Hey, why are you talking to her?
Why is she talking like she's talking?
Shut your mouth.
Hey!
That's wrong. That's wrong.
Guys, I don't want to shut this down. I want it to happen. I want to allow it to happen, but it's got to be cordial. It's got to be right. We do it one at a time, and we're going to get through it. Miss Glenda, I'm sorry, you've had your hand up for a long time, and I do see the other ones, and I'm getting to you. Your First Amendment right is very important to me.
I just want y'all to know, my name was along with Alita and Eric on that arrest warrant. I have no earthly idea of my name was on that arrest warrant.
See?
It shouldn't have been.
She's telling you, this is all.
I mean, I saw what happened, and the officer was in the wrong. I saw it. And so did other people. So why was my name on the arrest warrant?
Has anybody interviewed you or any of you witnesses about what happened?
I can actually answer that question to an extent. I don't know how many people have been interviewed. I know I was one of them, and
I was one of them.
well, I know what both of us said, and one of us told the truth, and I'm not a liar.
Well, I'm not either.
I was talking. I'm talking.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
May I say something
Hang on,
else?
hang on.
Okay.
I still have got to answer your question. And this is what happens. We do this roundabout. Let me answer your question. There were two individuals that saw everything. They have not been interviewed. I was interviewed, and I know what I said was, I was straight on, and there's no way I could have seen anything because Mr. Price was wearing a beautifully orange shirt, and you were standing right there. Jordan Green, who is a reporter, was also standing in front of me taking pictures. And then there was me. I told the truth. I told him there is no way anyone near me saw anything.
I was right near you, ma'am. I saw it.
Yeah.
Can I finish
We're going to let Glenda finish.
Okay, I was right back there, I saw the officer. And then the next thing I know, I seen him turn around and grab, I kept seeing him turn around, and that's all I could see. And other than that, there was people all in my way, and anybody who said they've seen anything else is a liar.
Sharonda.
It was an officer that just turned around on Todd and grabbed him, and then that's the last thing. I mean, I just seen him turn around and knock my daughter into a ball, but she's still not really been interviewed yet.
Two
Glenda.
questions for you, Mayor.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Is it legal for our police department to come into the city meeting with an active body camera on? Because I know we don't record 24 hours. And if I'm not mistaken, isn't it, you can't use body camera for non-things, is that true? Don't answer that, I'd love for you to figure that out. But I asked that to lead up to this. That officer had on a body cam, light was sprayed.
But won't release it.
Our city, he doesn't have to release it. Let me tell you what state law says.
This one
State,
got one on.
and that's fine. It belongs to us.
He won't release
It
it.
doesn't matter. State law says that a mayor and a city council within their elected positions has a legal authority and a right to view body cam footage. Why are we going through all this? If we got city council members who we think are not telling the truth, I know where I was sitting in that. I'm not sure how it's been way up there sitting behind all this behind me.
Right.
Body cam is from the individual that it's on. Why don't you all view it together and come back and let us know?
Because I'd like to see
Look,
those
call
investigations.
Texas Municipal League and ask them, what is you all's legal rights to view a body cam footage? We don't have a police chief, so I'm not sure why there's a problem. It didn't, y'all love going into executive session about everything else. Do something that will
Actually let us
temper the
go.
fires down in
Yes.
this town.
Well, unfortunately, I asked to view the footage, the body cam footage, so that I could come here tonight and calm us. And I was told that I could see it, can't talk about it, can't share it, can't,
Who
nothing.
did you get to ask? We never know.
I asked Tuba, and that's what he said. As of right now and today, I chose to be with y'all and not see it because I don't think it's fair for me to see it and not get to tell you guys, yeah, it was wrong, or yeah, it was right.
Can you get a second opinion from?
Absolutely,
Could
yes.
you please
I have-
call, or have the city secretary, because you can Google from the Texas Ag Opinions, and I bet you there is already an ag opinion somewhere on this. But for sake of accidents happen in town, is all that footage being preserved? Because we
Well-
don't need no accidents. There's accidents happen everywhere else. We've never gotten a resolution. I can name the stuff. We still haven't got resolutions
Well,
on.
yeah.
And everybody wants to know, why are we trying to dissolve the police department? We have the same officers that have been here from Gilo when we had that missing money, from McKee when we had all those issues. Now we have another one named Holly that is now gone. Some of the same officers, issues hadn't changed. That's all I'm saying.
So one of the reasons that's one of the main reasons deactivation is one of the things that, or it's the only thing I think that's going to work, because like I said earlier, we continue to repeat ourselves, and it's just different people, same result. And so if the officers are changing, we got another chief, everybody is new but Tuma, and I'm just sitting there thinking, what could the problem be? If we're getting new people in
I can
and
answer that
new
question.
blood, like, I don't understand what the change is, and the only thing I can think of is being able to have personal relationships between council and any city employee. I take that very seriously, because when I was on the council, I made it a point to not have personal relationships with any of the city employees, because anything could happen. And you may be a part of someone that has to let somebody go. And I don't want that to be my best friend. I love Mike to death. Our kids have grown up together. Our kids used to do birthday parties together. Guess what? Mike and I, we don't get to be friends because now I'm the mayor. We don't go to dinner. We don't chit-chat after. We chit-chat about work. That's it. That's the way it is. That's how it's supposed to be. And until Alita and Eric understand that, we're going to continue.
You shouldn't point them out.
But Claire, that's the only way it's
No,
going to
ma'am.
change.
No,
I would,
May I ask a question?
no, you've had.
Miss
your
Clara.
time. I want for my community peace, joy, love, happiness.
amen.
I am not for deactivating our police department. Now, I am not. Now, if we have to allow Officer Tuma to be in that position as our acting police chief until we interview, hire, get someone else in, all well and good. But I am for not deactivating our police department.
Let's keep up.
They serve us well. They serve us well. Now, I think that we are just getting a little overheated. I also looked and I saw what I saw the night of the incident. And I'm so sorry that,
Thank you.
she said that you got pushed against the wall or whatever.
That's
But,
Rachel.
Rachel. But anyway, I am for our city getting along. You all, that's the only way we here in Hawkins are gonna be able to live and work together, to bring up your children, your grandchildren. I have seen mayors come and go. I have seen them come and go. Some issues that we're discussing tonight have been going on for a long time. And I think that if we put our own personal selves aside, we can do the right thing. I do not like having my council that I work with pointed out and accused of certain things. I don't like to see my mayor accused of certain things. But we have got to get together. We have got to work together. Mr. Hall has been accused of certain things, of being the only working company here in Hawkins, and we call it the Triple H. What? And it said that Triple H gets a lot of work from our city and no one else does. Things have to be brought to the council. Things must be brought to the council. And until that happens, and we go by the book and by the law and get our ordinances and our rules and regulations together, you all, we are not going to progress. Not at all.
Why were the other 3 officers that last 3 that we hired, why were they?
I wanted.
Officer Holland.
I wanted.
Just a minute, Eric.
Okay.
Officer Holland wasn't brought before us. Our mayor liked Officer Holland. I thought they were getting along well. But my goodness. My
Why weren't
goodness.
they all brought before the council?
Ma'am, I wanted the officers brought in front of the council to interview them. But it didn't happen because.
Well, why didn't the chief, why didn't you say it's
Because-
got to be your council member?
The reason why it didn't happen is because our mayor said she gave the chief permission to hire the officers, and we were not involved with that. That's exactly the reason
They're
why.
still supposed to go.
But there's a
As long as
policy
you've been on the council.
that says you're supposed to.
Ma'am, I asked, but she said he has permission, I gave him permission.
You did not ask
Yes,
me.
ma'am, I most certainly did too. Okay, all right. Ma'am, I most certainly did.
When?
Do we, are we going to vote on, do we not
There's a
need to vote?
hand back there, and that's all I see is your hand. Yes.
The lady.
I've spoken in front of you guys before, and Ms. Kay, God bless, I love you. I think you're amazing. But you're saying the exact same things tonight that I said a month ago.
That's right.
And literally within 5 minutes of me making those statements, and I was conciliatory towards everyone. I was kind towards everyone. There was fighting, literally 5 minutes later. I mean, I walked out. I was so frustrated by taking my evening to come down here and express what it's like to be a citizen of this town right now. I'm not a 15-year member of this town, okay? I've lived here 3 years. but I live in the city limits. I pay the taxes, and I'm tired of it. I am fearful of having these officers around when they are not protecting us. I have a child who is special needs as an adult. He looks like an adult, but if you were to talk to him in person, you would not necessarily know that. And I'm fearful of having these officers come up and not know what's going on because they've not proven themselves. So while I respect the fact that we likely need a police force, the one we have blows.
She was the next one.
I'm on the list. Everybody's talking about, dismembering, whatever. I believe it too. Right now, you have a murderer in this town. So for y'all to sit there and say that we need this, where is the rights of that child that was taken April 29th, 2022 at 9:30 in the morning? He was killed in JJ's parking lot. No aid was rendered. The EMT took her life because there were shots being fired still. She took her body and covered that kid, which was already dead on the floor. Over and over. He let that kid sit there for 45 minutes before they put him in an ambulance. If it wasn't for that EMT, this family still don't have closure. Y'all want what you want. I understand. We need a police department. But when is enough enough? We want somebody that's honest. We want somebody that's going to fight for us. But yet, you keep saying, we need this. We don't need corruption. We don't need evidence being forced. We don't need evidence being left out. Like the video picture. I still, to this day, can tell you word for word, shot for shot. At 9:37 in the morning, a 20-year-old lost his life. But the person that did it is free to walk because the tape was miraculously just disappeared. But if that's the kind of cops you want, more power to you. But that's all I got to say.
We're not following procedure. We have people who have signed up
I have
to
it.
speak. Well, Mayor, where?
Right here.
I signed it.
Okay, well, you need to call on these people. They need to speak first. If they haven't already spoken.
That's where go. That's for that one. We're in the one above.
It doesn't seem like it. Well,
Yeah.
we need to be okay.
No,
When are we
I-
gonna vote on this?
Once everyone has had their say. Orange shirt.
I'm not gonna discuss the stuff that happened with my father-in-law, but I've heard his comment, and I think it was one of your comment about the police and how they can get to everybody faster than what a sheriff can. Well, my nephew passed away. He was a baby. The first people on the scene
Sorry,
was
that's,
the sheriff. Hawkins PD didn't come until we were already at the hospital. They pronounced my nephew dead. That's when they came. Not when we called and needed them. It was the sheriff. The sheriff got there when they lived 5 minutes away from the police department. And y'all would say they could get there faster? They got to UT faster than they got to passing through the house. That's bullshit. Secondly, my kids do not trust any of these police officers. When they see one of these police officers, they are scared. That is not okay. I help at the school. You know what police officers I see there? Not them. Sure don't.
McQueen.
John McQueen.
Yeah.
And two sheriffs. But I don't see any of these Hawkins police there.
guess who I seen running radar? Not one of them,
John
John McQueen.
Yeah.
So what do we need them for? They can't get to a call fast enough for a child that's dying. They can't protect our children, and half of the children are scared of them, so what's the point of having them? Let's get rid of them, start fresh, and make this town a little bit better for our kids.
That's right.
That beautiful brown, yes.
I'm sorry, and I'm sorry for the tragedy that's going on with all the drama that's going on. But what do people like me, who has a business, several businesses here, how am I supposed to feel safe knowing that somebody can come in, back their truck up, take everything we have, maybe not everything, 'cause we got a lot, but still, a big truck. Right. I don't know why I would want to live in this town if I can't have security.
So when are you talking about?
I'm downtown Hawkins.
In the evenings?
In the evenings, we don't have any law.
No, we don't.
I know. I don't feel good about it.
I know.
For years I've lived here. I'm not a homegrown, but I've been here since 2007.
So as of right now, you don't have a Hawkins PD
So is that supposed to
at
make me
night.
feel good?
So actually, our sheriff's department will take care of that. Right now, they're Monday through Friday.
Just from what this man just said.
Yeah, I'm not real sure who Chuck talked to, because
I don't listen.
I talked to the captains.
I live in Wood County,
Okay,
but I pay taxes in this town
right.
on several businesses and property that I have here. I don't know why I'm not allowed to vote, but I don't get to, because we give y'all plenty of money, they're going in. But we need to know that our businesses are safe. If you want businesses to come here,
Sure.
why would they come here? I mean, you may have your differences with who's on staff now. I don't know them. All I know is that I want security. I don't know their personal lives. I don't know what's going on with everyone in this town. But I do want to know that my business is secure. Now, that doesn't mean somebody's not over there right now breaking in.
True.
But I'd like to know that we have some kind of police force that's looking out for us. I know that you're saying they're corrupt. I don't know that, and I don't really believe that, but I don't know.
Well, I don't, and that's the thing, and I don't want to believe it. And I would never say that. And I mean, those of you who do know me, no, I wouldn't say that unless I've seen it for myself. I would never comment and say, this is this.
But my husband and I have brought a lot of revenue to this town. We have people coming from all over to come see us. And if this keeps going on, maybe we should move. Which business do you live in? I'm sorry. We have Action Sound.
Ma'am?
Yes, I'm one of those 15-minute or 15-second Hawkins residents that y'all like to speak about so pleasantly. I've been here a whole year. Hi, I'm Amy Pack. Just recently got married here. I was at the November Tussle council meeting, and I was appalled at what I saw. I was appalled by two of your council members egging on a lot of what was going on. It was deplorable, it was embarrassing, as well as the actions of the officer involved. Y'all want to disband or dissolve the police department without some kind of authority or repercussions for bad behavior? You ask for nothing but chaos. You don't like the police department you have, by God, get together and do something about it. Don't just wash your hands and say, we don't need one. We're gonna let the county take care of us. All you lifelong members, band together, stop clicking up, stand for your town, and get a police department in here you're proud of.
That's what we're trying to do.
Then stop the bickering and get it done. I've been here 15 minutes, and I'm not impressed.
Yeah, I wouldn't be either if you've been
I'm
here
not
a
impressed
year.
at all.
So, I talked to the Captain Gary Canella. He's over all the disbandment or closing of police departments over Texas. And he and I walked through this together and talked about rebuilding, basically. Hey guys, if you're on Zoom, make sure you are muting yourself. All right, so anyways, he and I walked through step by step what a disband looks like, doing the inventory from the, and he talked about giving me counsel on best steps. This is somebody that does this for a living. It's his only job, is deactivating police departments and rebuilding police departments. And I appreciated the counsel that he gave me up until, like present time. The last meeting we had was earlier today. He said that he would walk me through everything, making sure we're doing everything legally. When we want to then rebuild and enforce and apply, it would be a new agency. And I think that based on my conversation with him, that this is what would be best for our city. Yes, sir.
Maybe I'm outside looking in, but I'm gonna be honest with all of y'all. I ain't no lifelong office resident. I felt insulted when a person gets up and tells me that I don't count. And I'm gonna say this, all of this seems to be about a point of contention between Mr. Eddington and an officer. You are the chief officer, police officer. You're the chief executive officer of this town. You have a right to see that video. Now, the only reason that you wouldn't be able to release that video, and I don't care who it is because there's an ongoing investigation. After that, you can let everybody in this room see what happened, and that'll let the chips fall where they may. All of this arguing and talking about getting rid of the police force because of one bad officer, just throw the baby out with the whole water.
Well, I actually have a list on each officer.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, you got a list. I'm just saying.
I understand.
Look, I live in an area that gets burglarized kind of regularly, okay? I have neighbors that call me in the middle of the night because somebody's over on their property trying to steal something.
Right.
Okay? So all I'm saying is to get rid of the police.
Guys.
Basically what one officer did is inappropriate to me.
Then that's not why. That's definitely not.
That seems to be where it all started.
No, it was prior. It honestly started before I was even mayor. And it just kind of, it really did snowball.
So every officer on the force is corrupt?
No, it started about 10 years before she was mayor.
Okay.
And so you just kind of keep doing and thinking that it's going to change, and it just doesn't, because there's so many, right. And so this is me taking it by the reins.
Disbanding?
By saying that we can start over, and because here's the thing, it doesn't matter what great police officers we get in here if our foundation is awful. And our foundation is awful right now. I'm not going to lie to you. I cannot guarantee you that you are safe.
Oh, I know that. Nobody can.
Right.
I feel sorry for that lady that they didn't make it, but if you're looking for perfection out of humanity, you ain't gonna get it.
I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking
just
for
saying.
people who can follow the laws that they should
Okay,
stand
do we
by.
have that?
No,
So you're saying our officers aren't following the law?
no.
That's incorrect.
See that?
That's incorrect.
This lady's mayor, this man's had his hand up for a while back.
I'm sorry.
You don't run anything. Shut up.
What is this meeting and all that, but I just hope, my dad, they live in this town, the Hammond family and all that, and my uncles and all that, they're just had purchase on the county roads and all that. Of course, my grandparents, they're gone, that's on the homestead, they were born and raised that, it's gone. Well, they sold it, the shop was still there, but I my grandpa kind of let it go back, just sat there, seen the $3,000 out for 14 years. Anyway, I just hope that whoever they allow, my name is Kyle Hamlin, anyway, I just hope that whoever they allow in, the police chief, they do a thorough background on him and police officers and all that, they allow them to, they allow them to the city to come in here and service and all that, you know, as far as take care of the law and all that. And I just hope that Hawkins tries to work on trying to get some things in for this town that we need, because the thing is, we need some things in here, because I mean, I just see things on the news, people blowing up, you know, Henderson getting Chick-fil-A, then they'll get something in, and then you always back and forth, it's just ongoing deal, and like, Emory Bridges, they just got a new truck stop, or kind of a truck stop, with a water burger in it, and I see shop malls being built here and there, places, and I thought, I mean, we need it a little bit. I mean, we got a little short field around here, but not much there.
Hey, guys.
I just figured I'd just put that out there and just hope everything gets right back on track.
Thank you, Kyle.
Very close closet. I was born in Quitman. My mother has a house on Blackburn Street since 1961, the year I was born. She worked at Petty's Cafe for 30 plus years. Miss Kay is like a mama to me. I agree with personally interviewing every one of these police officers and see what their rights and wrongs are. Now I'm going to tell you what happened. My mother left her house to my two single granddaughters. There's 3 great grandkids in that house. I got a phone call. My granddaughter works for TDC. Her life was in danger because her boyfriend left Hawkins, went to Tyler and killed his ex, which was 27 years old, in front of her 3- and 4-year-old, his children. He was coming back to Hawkins for my family. You know who called me? Not the Hawkins Police Department. It was John McQueen. He was at that school guarding my great-grandchildren till my granddaughter to get to Hawkins. Then the Hawkins Police Department went down there and protected my other one that was there all by herself, scared to death.
This has been within the last 10 days.
Yes,
I know.
within
The
2
last
weeks
10
ago.
days.
Oh.
He abandoned his truck in Lindale, and they still have not called him. But do you think the Hawkins Police Department has been down there patrolling that house every night?
No.
No.
They're at my brother.
No, they're not. My granddaughter and my great-granddaughter has been living at my house until this past week because he still has not been found. But they are locked and loaded.
Yes, ma'am.
And I am scared for their life. Because all he has to do is walk across the woods, across Highway 80, and he's there. And don't think he's not coming after them, because he is. And it's sad that you can't get a police officer when you know there's drugs. Oh, well, we know that's a known drug house. And my little grandson, well, why can't you do anything about it? Oh, you don't understand, son, too much paperwork. That was told to my grandson. When I invited the police department to come on Blackburn Street, get on the porch that I own down there, and nothing was done.
I chased a drug dealer that give my 10-year-old grandson marijuana. I called the police department. I had to go through Wood County and through probation to get his probation revoked because Hawkins Laws would not go down there and do anything. He wasn't even supposed to be in this county. He was paroled to Dallas County. I stepped over the police department. I went to the sheriff's department. I went to the DA. I went to the probation office to find out that he wasn't even welcome here in Hawkins. But he was on Blackburn Street and giving little 10-year-olds marijuana and drugs, making little girls piss in mason jars up in a treehouse he had built where he could pass his drug test. I've done the work for the Hawkins Police Department.
I had somebody over here. Yes. Thank you.
Here's my concern for this road right here. We're related to Mike Mayberry.
Yeah.
Are we gonna get pulled over, stopped, don't have to worry about my child, my son-in-law, nephews, because we're related to him? That's the issue that a lot of us have. I'm not from here, so I don't have a dog in the fight. But my husband is, and my husband was raised here, and he was raised with every single person in here.
Yeah.
I wanted to raise my children here. My grandchildren, Mike and I share grandchildren, so I have to worry about that. And my child, which I have 3 of them here,
Yeah.
when I look at them and they hear Mayberry, they're ready to go. And I have a problem with that. And everybody in here should have a problem with that.
Yeah. Because it could be you.
Right. Here's the thing, and the thing that happened in November, I was at that city council member meeting. I also watched Dan's life get pushed, but I've never been questioned. But I was good enough to be in a newspaper, but not questioned over something that happened. So there's an issue. But I'm always gonna stand behind Mike Mayberry and his family because they're mine.
Yeah.
So,
Mike.
All I got to say is, the day this happened, well, it started several years ago with one of our ex-mayors. We were speaking on budget meetings, and we questioned the budget, so the next day we got retaliated against by the ex-mayor, trying to fire us and stuff. I feel this the same this time, because we speak up on the budget. I care for the city. I've been here all my life. And the day that I was arrested, I was treated like a common criminal. Not offered like our ex-mayor here, Will Rogers, not offered to go turn myself in or anything else. Oh yeah, Will's here. They offered him to go turn himself in because of
Hey, guys, I want to do this. I want to give everybody their First Amendment right.
They treated me like a common criminal.
Yeah.
Took me next door, didn't read my rights program, cuffed me front and back like I was a threat. I worked beside police officers my whole life. I've helped them apprehend people. I work with the fire department every chance I get, but yet I'm a common criminal. That's why I feel like I probably spoke out against now, but my family is my worry, and everybody that knows me is worried because of retaliation. And I'm not a common criminal, but I was treated like one. And you know how that makes my family and kids feel? And everybody that I know at school and every place else. So it really disappoints me.
That was a bad, bad day.
and one of the officers has known you a long time.
Yes, I've been working for Eric for however long he's been here.
2020. Yes, sir.
Just briefly, the biggest concern I have here tonight, really, is that we have council members that are willing to forget about the people that have been injured, attacked, unwarranted attacks by this PD, and they're still going to swear and be down before they back up off of what they stand for, just keep the police department. I just don't understand it. That's all I got for you.
Do I get to speak, ma'am?
You can.
Ladies and gentlemen, The accusations made about me tonight is totally false and incorrect. Because I live here, I pay tax here, I love this town, and I didn't have anything to do with anybody getting arrested. I will tell you this, Mike, I'm sorry for that happening to you that night, but anyone here that's over 21 years of age knows the rules and regulations about law and law enforcement. All of us know someone has been arrested, or all of us may have been arrested. But from a police officer, well, some people might, but you might know someone. I know you have to know someone.
I do now.
But when you have altercation, anytime a police officer has an altercation, you're not supposed to interfere. No, hold on. Mike, you ran across the back of the room, ran up behind him when he's facing our direction and rammed him.
No, I'm out.
Well,
You're not a judge or a jury.
I'm not, I was just explaining. I don't want to be
Then
blamed.
don't tell him.
Well,
Okay, I have one question.
Give him the
I
respect
have a
to
question.
say what he needs to say.
I need to say something else very, very important. Very important. Please, will y'all let me say this? We would not be here, none of us would be here under this situation right now if we did not have an internet tycoon that's been posting all kinds of things for numerous years. Sir, hold on a second. This is very important. Sir, listen to me. When a police officer gets hired, and when we have officers that arrest people driving down the road on Highway 14 and Highway 80 that has mushrooms, fentanyl pills, marijuana, and they think they did a good job for the citizens. When you have someone posting on the internet that, wait a minute, I can't believe one of our police officers arrested someone for a pan full of pills, some mushrooms, and some marijuana. Well, you know what? Was that guy going to take it himself? Did he just buy it? Or was he taking it around because he was going to sell it? Well, listen, that's not a good thing to be publicizing and putting stuff on the internet about police officers saying, this is the topic of the story. The topic of the story is said, our police officer messed up this young man's life because he got 2 second-degree felonies for just having some drugs. Well, everyone, hold on a second, ma'am. Everybody says, everyone's condemning the police, but I'm not saying everything's perfect, but I will say this. We're doing a very good job. This town is doing a very good job for not having a lot of crime. And everybody says, we don't have no crime. No one's breaking law. We don't need, that's the reason why we don't have crime is because everybody's afraid to come here to do crimes. Every city in the state has crimes. We have a pretty low crime rate.
Eric, could you tell us, it's not often you talk, so I'm gonna ask you this question. Could you please tell us, what was your personal justification for the night of this altercation that you're talking about, since you had great vision?
I didn't know anything about the altercation until I watched it happen, ma'am. I'm just like...
You were the guy, Eric.
Sharonda.
What was your personal reasons for that particular night of the council meeting for you to close out when we ended the council, and the first thing you did was pick up your cell phone and call our police chief, not once but twice?
No,
So,
okay, ma'am, I called...
Could you please tell us?
Okay,
I'm curious.
I called him on the way home, and you can contact him and ask him. You know what I said? I said, hey, chief, we just finished our meeting, and I said, are you on the way back yet, or have you already made it home? He said, I'm still on the way back. And I said, I want to be the first one to tell you, congratulations, how did your class go? Because he was gone that whole week taking a police chief's class because he wanted to get his credentials as fast as possible. That's what I said.
So that was the first call. What was the next?
Well, the first call, he got cut off. The second call, I called him back.
Yeah,
And
that's what I said.
the second time I called is when I said what I just said just now.
No, you just said the first call you called and asked about.
No, I called, we were cut off.
Oh.
But that was the topic.
Okay, I think one of the things that they're asking is who signed with a sworn statement for the affidavit of probable cause against Mike.
Well, supposedly, there was over 10
No.
no, ma'am, let me answer the question.
Who signed it?
I think that there was 8 or 10 people.
No.
Was your name in there?
Yes, because I was called in to tell them what I seen. And I
Okay,
told them the whole true story about exactly what I seen. It's
so
sad, but that's what.
they came and asked me the same questions, and I didn't have to sign anything because I had nothing to give. I didn't see anything.
All I did was answer their questions they asked.
Okay, so
All
you and
I'm-
I were sitting this close
Yeah, I know,
together,
and I don't understand how come
and
you
all
didn't
I
see it.
saw was Mr. Price's beautiful orange shirt.
And I was standing right next to him, and I ain't been questioned yet.
I was standing with Mike.
All I know.
Saying that put his hands on officer. How many phone calls did you make to the chief before this ever took place that night?
Don't.
You and the chief had.
Linda, please don't,
Yes.
Linda, please don't do that
I
to a
get
council member.
questions all the time.
Don't do that to a council
ma'am.
member.
So in his grant that he just went he's making the choices on voting and going on with what he's doing, just because Todd has a right to say what he wants to say on the internet. Well, now
No,
he just
I'm-
admitted.
You just did.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
You said, that's why. You just said, that's why.
Yes, sir.
That's the reason. So Todd's the reason.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
I have something that's
Yeah.
probably not, I'm biased. We own the property here, it's the old gymnasium. We initially, we got the property, we were excited to, redo it and offer, the community, the children something new, kind of like a rec center. And things went well. At first, we had problems with people, coming into the gym and breaking in. And then we got all the utilities on, we got 24-hour surveillance and cleaned it up. And we got to know everyone in the county that, was kind of around. Things went really good. People stopped breaking in. But here recently, within the past 2 weeks, we've had an influx of nothing but people breaking in, kids vandalizing things, people trying to steal things, even county workers coming up on the property. We spoke with the county guys about that, and we've made reports about that. And every time our cameras go off, they go straight to our phones. And then we call the police. The response time to the police is almost instantaneous. They catch them on the property, and they give them no trespass warrants and stuff like that. So to me, how are we going to be said? What do you have in place a plan for business owners or people? I don't even want to do that anymore because the crime is so crazy right now. So there's crime in every city. It's just not everyone knows about the crime, and it's ranging from grade school children to grown adults. To 70, 80-year-old men are coming on the property and doing things they shouldn't be doing and have it all recorded. So what do you have in place if I can't pick up the phone and have the police officers come over there before we have things damaged? Because we've had thousands of dollars of damage within the past week that's under investigation right now. What do you have in place to keep things like that from happening? Because I think without an officer or officers to be able to call there as quickly as possible, crime's going to go up. This is very public. They're going to know, hey, there's no cop here. You have one cop, you say, that can come here to
No,
county?
it's definitely more than one. We were talking and it actually being in Four Corners, and the sheriff and I can sit down, he said, we could sit down and make a plan. But I think the reason your place is on their radar is because of when I first became mayor and y'all were having issues.
Yes, we were.
And I ripped them a new one. And now y'all don't have any problems.
Not really, no, not like we did. No, you did a great job.
And so unfortunately, there are other issues, like just a couple of days ago, someone, an 18-wheeler, somebody lost one of those gigantic bales of hay in the middle of 80. And they called the police. And then they called City Hall and got Mandy. Mandy told me about it. I called the police, answer machine. I called the police, answer machine. Then I just went and got in my truck, and I just bulldozed the thing with my truck and got it off the road.
You know what? I can kind of step in a situation like that. Before, not too recent, probably a few months ago, there was a situation when we did have one, and we kept calling. So yeah, it's a hit and miss. It was for us.
And it is very frustrating when you call and the voicemail box is full. And I'm like, what do I do? When you call 911, it's much different. than when you call our local PD. Local PD phone call, you're probably gonna get a voicemail. 911, it's an emergency. People are jumping in. The sheriff's department is going to be there, just like when we were talking about, when we've had serious situations where a 911, sheriff's department's always there first. That's just the way it is in Hawkins. And honestly, we have police in the county that will not come here until they're gone because they don't want to get in a lawsuit.
So is your plan to disperse, dissolve the police department indefinite, or do you have to build any?
No, we would disband, get all of the inventory, because we've gone through so many now. I am a little concerned about the inventory, let's just put it that way. So we'll take an inventory of everything, and then we'll move on to, okay, where is our chief?
And have you started interviewing for this chief? Can you put that post out there yet?
No, because, and I mean, and I could pose the question to you guys. If you were the new chief for Hawkins, how would you like to come in? With this team or by yourself, ready to build? That's tough.
I would want to have at least someone there to let you know what's going on in the city, because you're going to be blind. You're going to be blinded. You have to know where you're coming from, where you're at, to be able to build a better base in the future.
Yeah, I just think that we don't have a foundation. We don't.
What consists of the foundation? I know you mentioned that earlier.
We've got to get into the policies and the ordinances, and I mean, that's something that Paul was trying to do, but it was just like, there's just this wave that comes and hits us, and it's another drama, and it's another thing, and it's another thing, and we need policies, ordinances, law.
And to be followed.
That's really, really that simple. And I mean, that's what it should be on the council too, is that's our foundation. We should all be going by the same law.
Thank you.
All right, guys. The chatter. Yes, ma'am. I'm so sorry. I missed you on the way back.
My name is Shirley. I manage the Pines RV. I raised 2 kids in Hawkins, and a lot of these people know who they are. Dino Parker and Velma Parker. I manage the Pines RV, and the owner of it now lives in Dallas, and he is a Christian man, and he is working every day with me to get that park looking good. He wants it to be an eyesore when you drive in Hawkins. I say that to say this. I agree with Miss Kay. I don't feel that we should get rid of all the policemen at one time. I feel we should get a chief and then go from there. So that's my opinion.
Thank you.
And I've been here 50-something years.
Thank you.
My name's been on the agenda, and I'm waiting
Okay.
to speak. Now,
Okay.
I don't know if all these people's names have signed up
It's
to
okay.
speak or not.
I always
But
just-
It's getting late.
Okay.
I'm old, and I'm getting tired.
All right.
I want to be heard.
That's okay. I'm ready.
Okay, is it my turn?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Keep going. Now, I'm slow, and I have to walk very determined, and I may have to hold on to this, but I will sit down in my chair and stare at the wall or people that are just, one right after another, on and on and on and on. I come from a long line of people. Ms. Kay probably remembers my Uncle Bill Hall.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of you older people may learn. And I had cousins that was on the police force. And I've been on the front line since this mess started. Mm-hmm. When they started running Jesus out of sight, out of town. I had my prayer tent pitched for 40 days and 40 nights on site. And if I wasn't on site, I was behind the funeral home watching to see what was going on and what was going on with the signs. My prayer tent was, my ropes on my prayer tent were cut and the knife left on the scene to try to scare me away. And let me tell you something, people, and I want you to remember back to the day that Jesus got run out of town in Hawkins. Took the sign down. Now you just see, if you stop and think back, we didn't have all this going on that's going on right now. But nobody stood up and was spoken enough. And the powers that be came in and pulled the ropes and acted in a way to get the Jesus sign taken down. Now, the city had Hawkins, and the city council members, and Todd was right in the middle of it. Now, Todd Eddington, I gotta say this. I know Todd in a way probably that nobody else knows Todd. Because I pray for Todd constantly. And every time I see Todd, I take his hand and tell him, Todd, I'm still praying for you. And I had one glimmer of hope, because when I said I'm still praying for you after many, many times, Todd said, don't stop. Now, a lot of people in here are Christians, and God be Christians, but God tells us that we are allowed to hate the sin, but He demands that we love the sinner.
Amen.
That's right. Scripture. That's right.
Amen.
Now, I know Todd, I've got a little tablet that I do artwork in. I don't know that much about it, but I punched a button, and I got a picture of Todd sitting on the toilet. But that's Todd. But Todd has been used by people because he has a brilliant mind. He has been used by people to do their dirty work. And I think there's people here in this room that knows exactly who I'm talking about.
And you know, he'd be the first to take a shirt off his back or build you a
Go
wheelchair
ahead,
ramp
you
or
go and
help you pay your bills when your lights are out too. So, I'm gonna tell you something about God.
No, you gotta
Okay,
finish.
I'm talking to God
No,
about Todd
she's
too.
out of order.
God said, you let me worry about Todd, okay? And he's doing God's work. But when people want to pass out flyers and call him a Satanist and hate on him, does that bring him closer to God? It don't.
No.
So who is anybody to judge my brother? I mean, does anybody want to throw a stone at him?
All right.
And
finish.
May I finish? Now, I told Todd, I said, Todd, when you and I are talking, you don't have to talk like that. You're too smart for that. He said, oh, Miss Rita, it's just a word. I said, well, Todd, if it's just a word, as smart as you are, you don't have to use it when you're talking to me. Not one time has that man said a dirty word when he's talking to me. He said, oh, well, Miss Rita, it's just a word. Well, he knows now. When I talk to Todd, Todd talks to me with respect. So, all of you, you know, Todd is Todd. And it's a darn shame that his brilliant mind is not used for more positive things. But that's Todd, and Todd has that right. Now, enough about Todd. You stop and think all the way back to when the Oath Keepers were here. I was up there in amongst the Oath Keepers also. I had my prayer tent up there then. It was an experience that I wouldn't take anything for, because I've got a real ringside seat at what went on here in Hawkins, and the money that was spent to take Jesus down out of Hawkins. And ever since that he run Jesus out of town, think back at all the mishaps and all the horrible things that taken place in our town. I still wear my Jesus shirt and I wear it proudly. And we need to have, I would like for the citizens of Hawkins to stand up with me and take our town back.
Oh, I wanted that.
Stand up for what is right.
Mhm.
And if you can't stand up for what's right, just sit down and shut up. You can't stand up.
All right, good job. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
I think that we could be here all night. You know, I think it's time that we call the question and put it to bed. So that we
You're
can
more than
all-
welcome to leave, but if anybody else has something to say,
I'm not asking anybody to leave.
they will
I'm
say.
asking you put forth the agenda items, Madam Mayor, and you wanted them to take action. So I'm asking.
We're discussing.
They're the only ones that can cut off the decision. It's gotta be a council member.
if they want to cut off a citizen, they can cut off a citizen, not you.
That's true.
Have a seat.
I will sit.
Clay, we need to do this.
You know, Mayor, I've had, since this has went down, probably at least 35, 40 phone calls. on
Yes,
my
sir.
phone. I've had some very unpleasant phone calls. I've had some very nice phone calls, and then I've had some that, just say it was every word was a bad word. And I only got 2 words in the whole conversation with a hang up. A lot of people in town, and a lot of businesses in town are hoping that you do not shut the police department down for the reason they don't feel secure running their business in the city. Some of them said they would even alter their hours of work, shut down early if the police department was disbanded. And that they, instead of opening up to 10 or 11 like they are now, they would shut it down at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the evening because they didn't feel safe running full shift. All I'm asking is to think about what it's affects some of these businesses in town. There's some corporates in town have also called with the same discussion. They understand what's going wrong, they understand what's happening, but they're also concerned or worried about they're operating their business without a local police department here in town.
Right. Well, you do know where we are right now. They're not there in the evenings or overnight. And they're Monday through Friday right now, Hawkins PD. So if we deactivate, do a full inventory, and rebuild, I think we would actually get to our goal faster than trying to discipline and dismiss and then rebuild. And this is the only opportunity we have to do that, where we actually are able to start over, clean slate, and get to 24 hours as quickly as possible. If we deal with what we've got going on right now, I can guarantee you, we already have 1 lawsuit coming because of these policemen.
Yep.
Amen.
I mean, I think, Ms. Clegg, I'm sorry.
I don't want to cut you off, but, you know, you voted for us as a council. We are supposed to be the leaders. We are supposed to be the #1 acting a group of this city. The mayor falls under us. Now, that's according to procedure and how things are supposed to be done. Now, we need to work together. And yes, our police department is needed. Our police department is needed. We can function with one. We can function as a city with one officer working along with us until we get what we need. Now, Mayor, we can do this. It says discuss. We've been discussing. It is now time for you as our ex officio, our mayor, for us to come to a vote whether or not we want to deactivate our police department or keep it until such time that the city of Hawkins can retain the service of a new qualified chief of police.
Okay. Cindy?
Have you, let me finish. Are we going to vote?
Not right now.
When will we vote?
When our citizens are done. This is very important to them. It's really important to me. I'm putting myself,
I just asked the question.
I get it. I'm putting myself out there.
You don't need to keep talking about that. I just asked the question.
I just have a question. Okay, so love them, hate them, whatever, the police department. You get rid of them. You want to build again. What makes you think if you're going to do any better? And I say this because we keep getting police officers.
Yep.
Who wants to work here? Look at what keeps happening.
Yep.
I mean, you had a qualified police chief that you fought for.
I know.
Yes.
He did not have to take that job.
I know.
That's right.
He did it for the good of the community.
Amen.
He did a great job.
And now he's gone.
Right.
You now have to search for another one. Who wants the job? Yeah, that's going to be the hard thing. Is to find somebody that you feel is qualified.
Right.
Then get additional police officers who you feel are qualified.
Right.
That's going to be the challenge.
Yes, I agree. Because
I'm sorry, Miss Norma, but you should remember before we got this police chief, you all said the same thing. But as soon as Gilo left, we got applications that flooded the office.
We
So
did.
why isn't that a
But last time we didn't.
We didn't.
Get qualified. We had 2 candidates for a police chief.
just this last time around,
Yeah.
we actually interviewed 4 and we brought it down to 3. And then we got it because Tuma was not qualified.
So we have possibilities.
We'll see. I mean, when this stuff ends up on the news all the time,
And it will continue.
Transparency.
That's been proven.
Promising it's gonna stay on the news? Because you're egging it on right there. And the problem we've got right now is that we're not paying enough money to bring in a good qualified person to do the job. Until we're willing to pay that person, the strong leader, this good money, it's not gonna happen. So as long as you keep paying your officers chump change, they ain't coming. And nobody wants to deal with this garbage we keep putting up with day in and day out. Until we get some strong leadership, and it's gotta start at our council and work its way.
Well, that's what I was about to say.
And we're gonna continue to get people that don't wanna do it because they don't wanna deal with this mess.
Yeah.
You're right, John.
I'm a citizen. I pay my taxes here. I live in town. And honestly, I'm tired of the garbage.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yep.
To a T.
Amen.
The backbiting and the BS that keeps going on is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You're the moderator of the meeting.
Yep.
You've even put it in writing here that you're supposed to sign up. It's right here on the sheet in case you read it. You got it in your packet. It's right here. And we keep taking this round table. And people keep talking, the same people keep talking over other people that haven't spoken yet. And then once everyone has talked, you want to speak again, I guess you'll let them get in line too.
If they raise their hand, that's my right as the mayor. If they raise their hand, I can call on them.
You're going to bully your way through everything. All 9 yards and keep pushing.
No.
And pushing. And picking and choosing when you've got a list of people signed up.
They're speaking and that.
on the subject for matter of that, so anybody can speak.
Oh, I know, but it's still here for comments. You keep taking comments.
I have it right here.
You're right. I'm on there. We keep taking on and on and on and on.
We're not there.
Hang on. I understand to an extent what you're saying, but I also promised that you are going to get to speak. There's been 2 people that have spoken twice, and I understand that. But I try my best to respect all citizens, no matter what your name is. If you're here, you matter. If you're not here, you matter. That's why we started this.
Greatly appreciate that. And yes, these people matter. They're the ones that are elected to put you in office.
Exactly. So I have to do my due diligence for them. I work for them.
Cindy has a question.
Cindy,
How many times have you been down the same road? Since Bubba left, we've had 3 chiefs. They deal with me,
excuse me.
and then Chief Hall just left. So we're gonna do this all over again for a 4th time to see where we're at. Why not just start fresh? Ms. Kay, you said 1 officer. Which officer are you gonna pick?
That's left up to the council and the mayor.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Which officer you gonna
We need to follow Robert's Rule of Order. That's what we need to do.
We do not
Yes.
have a police officer on Hawkins Police Department that is qualified to be a chief. The T. Cole told me that you can do one, but they need to be a qualified for a chief position. We do not have a police officer that is qualified to be a chief.
So you're gonna have to start all over again.
Yes.
We don't.
No.
If you keep the police department, you're gonna have to start all over again, trying to find
Yes.
another chief to come in. Well, I agree with some of them. I wouldn't step into that mess.
I agree. I agree.
I would not.
I feel like we would be better off and we would get a better chief if we would be able to give him a fresh foundation
Find out what his goals are
and
first.
let that chief build.
Are you going to be the one who is going to decide who that is going to be? It seems as though 2 or 3 times that's the way it has been.
No,
Are
I
you
won't.
going to do it?
No, we'll go through the same process when we picked the last
We
chief.
said an interim and Dukes is qualified. He can do that.
Strike 3. So I mean, where are you going? It makes no sense.
We do not have a police officer that's qualified to be a chief. We went through that with Tuma trying to be the chief, and we had a huge unrest because no one understood why we would hire someone that's not qualified for the job. That's when we had other applicants come in, and we interviewed together, and then yeah, y'all were all interviewed. You were all invited to the interviews, correct? And I would be a little more apt to just
Why not
start
let
fresh.
somebody build it up instead of tearing it down like what we've got?
And you cannot tell me if we leave this place tonight that our police officers are going to be able to not be politically charged by this meeting.
That's because we act silly. Everybody acts silly.
It referred to her 1 officer. Okay, and I sound like a broken record, but we've been in here in this town for 50 years. I was born here. And we had from 50 to 150 cars out there on our property. Not one of them did we ever have, we never had to call the police. Never. Because nothing was ever took or broke into or anything. Dan worked out there with us, and he can verify, we never called the police. Never. From 50 to 150 cars. Because we wholesale. I mean, we never had to, you know, had one incident, it was a kid, and we took care of that ourselves.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Amber Tuma. My husband's Eric. Lieutenant Tuma. My husband has worked for 4 mayors, if you count Chuck. Okay. He treats the city council as if they're citizens because guess what? They're citizens.
They're held to a higher standard.
They're citizens, just like you.
They have expectations of
Okay,
these guys.
Absolutely. As do I.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. T. Cole specifies that a police chief just has to hold a license. All right? Saying that my husband is not qualified, that's an error on your part. Okay? Also,
Okay.
saying that he's politically charged is also a false allegation. That's ridiculous. Okay? And that's all I really have to say.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say, oh, one more thing. I really hope, sorry, I do apologize. I really hope that you find the chief that you're looking for.
Yes.
I was just gonna say, you got the information.
Hang on, guys. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Information to share with the city council members, someone that does this job, that is guiding you the correct way to do it. And I don't understand our council not following the lead or somebody that knows what they're doing in
Yeah.
this area.
Yeah, Captain Canella was, he'll be easy to work with if that's what we would wisely choose to do, because it's basically giving Hawkins an opportunity that we may never get again to be able to start over. I mean, the government and the placement was put together in 1942, 43, and we have an opportunity to make it right. And I don't know, I'm not guaranteeing you that it's going to be right in a year, but I know it's going to be right, and my kids are going to still be here. It's going to be right, you know, because I feel the same as the young lady back there that spoke. My daughter and I, we share vehicles. It scares the crap out of me. And I would be lying if I said anything different, that every time she pulls out in my vehicle, I'm like, just be careful, don't do anything illegal. And I shouldn't feel that way.
No, you shouldn't.
None of y'all should feel that way. And that's what's very frustrating.